I was an excellent student. I had hopes. I had natural skills for the legal profession. And I had just graduated from college, and I was accepted at law school, but I had to put that off.
Miss Chan was born in Battambang, Cambodia. She was caught during the Khmer Rouge.
The Khmer Rouge, they murdered her father and two of her older brothers.
Jack went to Vietnam as a young man.
Tragically, those 2 years did some serious damage to my life. I'm just hoping that I can turn some of it around.
Even though it's been over 30 years, the image still haunts her to this day. Mm-hmm.
The majority of veterans that I work with have mental and emotional disabilities.
I'm a Vietnam vet. I'm sympathetic to what our veterans went through. There is no book or movie or anything that describes what an individual encounters when they encounter combat.
Back in the day, they didn't have PTSD, right? They called it shell shock.
Well, I had several incidents that caused the PTSD. The time that I was in a rocket attack, I didn't know how many there were, when it would stop. It was really terrifying. I said my goodbye prayers. It was definitely the worst experience of my life.
Trauma impacts different people in different ways.
Post-traumatic stress disorder is a real illness.
To you, I probably seem presentable and intelligent, articulate. And I am. But I do have a serious disorder. I am not able to function well.
So these are disabilities that, by their nature, are invisible to the human eye.
Soon after I came back from Vietnam, I started noticing a huge change in me. Trouble sleeping, depression. I started law school, could not focus at all, and even though I had great potential, I actually was terminated from the school at the end of the first year for poor grades.
It has been 41 years since Jack came back from Vietnam. He has been homeless and traumatized that entire time.
I couldn't have relationships. I lost all my friends. I divorced my wife. We had a child. I just couldn't deal with that.
Miss Chan fled Cambodia during the Khmer Rouge, and she fled to a Thai refugee camp where her daughter was born.
She somehow advertising to look for her mom. She found her mom in the U.S., so her mom petitioned her to come to the U.S.
And the idea was that they would apply for their green cards through their family members here, but many, like Miss Chan, just never obtained the proper assistance to do so.
When I was around 17 years old, we got the letter for deportation.
Jack didn't even know for 30 plus years that he actually could get some compensation from the VA.
I made out all the applications, and my application for benefits has now been pending since March of 1999.
The level of detail that needs to go into a benefits application is so extreme.
But essentially, they put the burden on the veteran to prove that these incidents took place. Interestingly, Jack had told them at one point that he was inside a helicopter when there were 2 Vietnamese soldiers with him inside of this helicopter. At one point, one of those Vietnamese soldiers was forcefully ejected from the helicopter.
And then they would come down and look at the body, so the other guy in the helicopter, the other Vietnamese in the helicopter, would see what happens if he doesn't talk, and then he would talk a mile a minute.
Jack told them about this incident, and the VA said, "We cannot give you benefits for that incident because that is a war crime, and we cannot document that war crimes took place." so we're denying your benefit.
Miss Chan and her daughter were not in the best financial situation.
She went to different places to look for lawyers.
When we went to a lawyer, there was a lady, she was like, yeah, we're going to help you guys.
The first attorney charged her $7,000.
But then afterwards, they just pushed us off to the side, like, we can't do this for you. It's too difficult.
So she went to another lawyer. They charged her $20,000.
So we had to go borrow money from friends and family.
But it turned out that it doesn't work out for her. They told her that they cannot help her.
One of the problems that face homeless veterans is their inability to obtain proper representation.
I tried to get private lawyers, but I can't pay them.
If we were to be deported back to Cambodia, I don't know what would happen to the two of us, and I am not sure what would happen to my little brother and sister. We are hoping someone would take them in, but of course, I don't really trust them with anyone else besides us.
The VA has discouraged me, has put obstacles in my path, has shown me contempt and lack of caring about me.
I've heard him talk about suicide a number of times.
I want to have a life. I want to have relationships. And right now, that's all on hold.
When you have a group of people who do not feel they have a voice, it creates instability in a society.
Legal Aid Foundation of Los Angeles is a law firm, but we're unique. We get to work with people who are disenfranchised, disadvantaged, and often alone.
When they have no one else to turn to, they come to LAFLA because we ensure that those doors to justice remain open.
The Bill Smith Homeless Veterans Project was created in 2000 in reaction to some pretty stark reality for veterans living in Los Angeles.
I don't have emotional support from anybody for anything. But here I found emotional support from a lawyer who knows the system and cares about me.
You know, when I first met Miss Chan and her daughter and I looked at all of their paperwork, I was so incredibly frustrated for them because for so many years they had literally just been sent from place to place saying, you need to file this, you need to file that.
The Legal Aid Foundation, they eased our worries and said, don't worry about it. We will take care of it. Don't stress over it. We will do what we can for you guys.
We helped them gather their documents to file their applications with the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services, and then ultimately they were granted and we were able to terminate their deportation proceedings.
And as soon as she saw me, she gave me a hug that I couldn't breathe. She hugged me really hard. She said that you gave me a second life.
She was so happy when she got her green card.
And their green cards are actually backdated back to 1992 when they first arrived. So now with that, they're able to apply for U.S. citizenship right away.
College, family, better job. That's what's going to benefit me from the green card and being able to stay here, see them grow up.
So we worked with Jack, and I reassured him and assisted him in collecting some evidence to make sure that his case would actually finally win. And it did. And now he is getting over $2,600 a month.
But now they found another way to deny me the money.
We are going to withhold tens of thousands of dollars of your retroactive pay because of a technical loophole.
And they want me to go through the entire process, maybe go through the courts as well. I'll certainly be dead by then.
So the battle with him continues, and I see the toll that it puts on him.
What keeps me going is the hope that I'll be able to get out and live a life.
At LAFLA, we see over 14,000 people a year.
The problems are enormous. There are too many people out there that need help, and LAFLA isn't big enough to do it by itself.
This is a job for the entire legal community.
We have many law firm partners, community partners who work day in and day out with us, and we simply couldn't do it without them.
The Legal Aid Foundation made a huge difference in all our lives.
It's extremely helpful to have somebody on my side.
The one thing that sticks out for me is watching a client change from someone who is disempowered and afraid to watching someone become a courageous advocate in their own life.
I just feel really lucky to be here.
I wouldn't do anything else.
They're lifting people up out of the gutter.
And I could have a life, the best life I've had since Vietnam.
She felt like she was reborn again. It's a new start.